Hey. So I opened up there with a shot of my little boy's bare feet and the pedestrian sign. As you can see, we're waiting to cross the road. There is the never-ending story of roadworks and pipe repairs and so on. And near me, they're putting in a lot of water works, like where they can put water meters on everybody's house, and then they can cut you off when you don't pay your taxes. Damn, someone's smoking something tasty. Can you smell that, honey? Oh, man, I am. Oh, look, the beeping sound tells me I'm allowed to cross. This is part of the dumbing down. I was listening to Zoom Truth. Dave, his surname I don't know, but Dave Zoom Truth was out at Princeton University yesterday, I think, and I caught up with that this morning. And he was standing by a traffic intersection or a crossroads where people could cross the road, and they got the robotic voice that says, "You can walk now," or something like that. Please walk, or stop walking, or whatever. It's like, because people need that instruction now as well. It's part of the dumbing down thing. Being, shod, wearing shoes all the time is very unhealthy, actually. And the weather is good now, so I am myself doing a little bit of barefoot time, but I can assure you I get a lot of strange and disapproving looks for that. Obviously not as much as perhaps for having a barefoot son. Even children go, "Look, not wearing shoes or socks." Because even at the age of 5, these children have become so desensitized, so denatured, that the idea of a child being outside without shoes on is foreign to them. Look, there's a train coming, Alexander. Hope you're into train spotting. Can I read that? Hi, Conspiracy Search Engine. Hey, Nathan. How are you going? It's Red Eye. Hi, brother. South Georgia, they have to post no shirt and shoes, no service, convenience stores. We're all barefoot and shirtless in the summer. Fantastic. Well, I know of places like that. I've been to places like that. I've been around places like that where, where people are more naturally. But here, in good old Blighty, England, land of the small-minded, apparently home of the conquest masters. I don't know. Should we cross the road? Yeah, sweetheart. Thanks. Thank you. I was wanting to say something this morning on a variety of topics, and part of that is to do with what's going on in the so-called flat earth community, and I've heard some disturbing stuff, not disturbing in certain ways, like people saying disturbing stuff about how, the Logan Paul business and what's his name, Benjamin, that comedian, Owing Benjamin, and they seem to have a very interesting kind of curiosity about them. Can I put it that way? The first one, because this guy goes out and apparently films a dead guy and puts it on YouTube, so that's pretty sick, right? So that's the guy that Robbie Davidson apparently didn't invite but discovered. That's another question you've got to ask yourself. Why would a guy who wanted to make a documentary just kind of quietly join the thing and hope to get noticed and hope to get invited to come and be a podium speaker. No, he wouldn't leave that to chance. He would have gone to Robbie directly. That makes absolute sense to me. A guy who's got 50 million or 10 million or whatever subs goes to a guy that's got 150,000 subs. Think about it. You know, when we're talking YouTube thing or whatever, you know, we're talking big dog and tiny dog. So, you know, it just seems to me like why would he want to make this kind of mockumentary without ensuring that he got he got billing, that he got the opportunity to go up on stage and take the piss and get noticed and what have you. You know, he could have turned up on the day and whatever. So no, I think that's one question. The other question is to do with this other guy, Benjamin, who seems to be a pretty right of the wing kind of thinker, you know, and very strong anti-Jewish rhetoric, very strong anti-black, no, quite strong anti-black rhetoric, you know, very popular guy, very funny American comedian with a Jewish sort of family member. So, and in fact, he went and hung out here and came to the UK and hung out with Tommy Robinson, another Jewish right-wing kind of fire starter. Of course, it's got to be remembered that all of this ball earth bullshit has been given to us by who? Well, we think it all comes through the Vatican. It's all signed off by the Vatican. It's all Vatican insiders who are the Jesuit kind of connection to it all.
Anything I've said this morning, have you?
I'm getting grief from the divine feminine, because I'm talking about I'm just sharing some of the negative stuff that I think is
exactly, but it's just
being
playing into the hands of the negativity that
Hello.
they're bringing. Hello. Sorry, I have to pipe in because I disagree with what Dave's saying. Or I have a different slant, let's put it that way.
That's
and
all
that,
fine.
you know what, this is all just kind of bullshit. It's like all a bunch of egos are like having their say. And really, I said something to Dave this morning, and I was having a slightly intuitive moment, that our soul is here to master the ego.
Yes.
And at the moment,
Yeah.
it seems like in
Yeah.
so many of the truth sort of areas that the egos are all just playing some sort of mudslinging game with each other, and we're all just judging each other. And where is that thread of human love that we're supposed to be spreading? I mean, you know, is it part of the journey to do the mudslinging and then come to some sort of peaceful, I don't know, but I know that when I listen to the mudslinging, it doesn't make me feel very comfortable, and that's normally my compass of whether I want to be part of something or not. And so when I, you know, listen to, and it's mostly off the back of Dave listening to be fair, the stuff that's going in FE, that I'm disheartened, because I think that it's just like, surely when you find out all of these truths, it kind of frees you from that judgment pill that we all seem to have, you know, have
Swallowed.
to work through.
Yeah.
And where's the forgiveness? Where's the love? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think you need to be angry, you need to be passionate, but you got to work through those things. And it just seems to be like this circular movement of people, you know, if it's not one thing, it's another.
Well, okay, so that's awesome, and thanks for that divine feminine input. I think it's essential that we have that, and we continue to listen to those voices. I was saying to Andrea this morning, you know, part of this journey for me has been to empower her to find the time to do the work that she needs to do to find her voice and her divine feminine truth, you know, along this way. I think that's an essential part of what the masculine role is, to provide the cup, or the place for the feminine to grow sweetly.
Can I just add to that? I think part of that is also the masculine getting out of their heads and into their hearts and stop like trying to think your way out of this. You've got to love your way out of this. And I know that's a journey for everybody, and they've got to do their own thing and go on their own path when it comes to that. But you know, I think that's the thing with flat earth. There's so many males, and everybody's kind of in their
and
ego.
we're trying to work it out, and we're concerned or aware that along this way we have been deceived in countless ways, and that the deceivers are they're so total and complete in their ability to have mapped out a series of deceptions, even for those most deep down the rabbit hole, that we are still likely to be misled, and we are still likely to be, or at least even not misled, like just that seeds of dissent and seeds of separation are going to continue to be sown. And you know, I mean, it doesn't, because like I think of the Christian aspect of flat earth, and how for most Christians, you know, a lot of Christians, I think that flat earth doesn't necessarily cause them to really still need to change. You know, they still go, oh well, the Vatican gave us the ball earth lie, but it's not really the Vatican who gave us the Bible. We can kind of trust that it was kind of King James. Who exactly is that? And why in heaven's name should we be trusting this man over someone else's man? I mean, this is what's gotten us into all this trouble all the way through. And I see, you see, if I was the Christian church, say I was the Vatican, and I knew that this ball lie was going to eventually come to an end, then I would absolutely have in place my people who were going to unwittingly, but continue to kind of propagate a version that goes, yep, don't worry that they lied about cannabis. Yep, don't worry that they lied about the shape of the earth. Yep, don't worry that they try to make you think that you were monkeys and just came from some big, Vatican circle jerk Big Bang. No, don't worry about that they lied about those things. Just carry on believing pretty much everything else that they've always said to you, and that the stuff that they've given you, the books and the so on. Don't go to your heart. Don't go and realize that within you is all of this truth. Within you is all of the answers. Without you is the potential for, outside of you is the potential for all this deceptiveness. And
can I just say something? I think part of the inward journey is
we've got to stop here.
Fine-tuning.
Alexander loves these.
It's about fine-tuning your discernment. That inner knowing, that trust in your intuition, that trust in that your soulful voice that will tell you the what's right from wrong. So that is a journey for all of us, and you need to go inward. But we watched a movie last night, and we jokingly used the excuse, we got to analyze this to see the meaning in it, because that's what we all say when we watch a movie now. That we won't watch it because it's programming.
For entertainment,
yeah,
it's not
but we're just watching it to kind of see the meaning. And it was the remake of Total Recall. David fallen asleep, and I watched it to the end. And one of the things that happened at the very end was, you've probably seen it, but they've fought the good fight and they've won, and they're recovering in the ambulance, and at the very end the supposed new girl comes up to him to kind of comfort him, and he realizes that she doesn't have the bullet wound in her hand, and that actually she's got one of these sort of cover masks on, and luckily he had the knowing in his heart to know that this woman had this sign that
Mark of the beast.
mark of who she was really, and he was able to fight her off. Otherwise, she would have got to him. The point is that, you know, we all have to travel this road, and we all have been deceived, and we will all continue to be deceived, because they'll up the game. The more we find out the truth, the game will be upped, and you have to. That's why the importance of knowing thyself and having that discernment is so important, because it's what's going to be your compass. It's what's going to be your compass to know what's right and what's wrong, and what you need to trust and first and foremost it should be
You and
yourself, and then actually our fellow human beings, because most of us are wanting to do the right thing. We're wanting to be authentic, we want to be loving, we want to be forgiving, we want to be non-judgmental, and so yeah, that's another Andrea's penny's worth.
Thanks, Andrea. And as you can see, well, you've seen they're doing, you know, these roadworks, as I mentioned earlier on. And for me, you know, you could say they're just simply doing this to keep people jobs busy and economic churn and so on. But I still think it sort of hints at they plan on being here longer than just the next year or two. The system plans on continuing to dumb people down, to poison the water, to hold people in a state of disbelief, but eventually perhaps get to us to a point where either, you know, flat earth is something that's unmentionable, or where people go, yep, okay, well, yeah, it's flat, but, you know, we still need government, we're still killing each other, we're still a horrible you know, bunch of just come out of the cavemen types people. So, and this is why it's so important to continue the work towards knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and so on, is to be able to kind of be that for yourself and for those around you. Because if we can be that for ourselves and those around us, then we have a chance to affect change, eventually perhaps on a wider scale, but initially obviously in your own family line. It's tough, don't get me wrong, it's not meant to be easy. I don't think it's tough and lonely, and as Zoom Truth was saying, you know, you go out there in the streets and you tell people, and they, you know, you're the nutcase. They want to make you to be the nutcase. There's a nail on the floor. If we leave that there, some barefoot child might stand on it. Oh no one's allowed to walk barefoot. I forgot.
Oh, and I implore you to go barefoot. Make us look less freak-like.
Oh yeah, if more people were barefoot. Although someone was saying earlier on, where he lives, they're all barefoot.
Well,
in the
if
summer.
we were in South Africa, we'd be more accepted. But here people just don't go barefoot. It's just unthinkable to not wear rubber between your feet and the ground.
In fact, we could probably start a GoFundMe for, you know, you just show pictures of your son barefoot and go, look, this poor boy Alexander. He can't even afford shoes. Why don't you sponsor him? 99 pence a week will ensure that Alexander gets a new pair of shoes all the way up to size 10. That's European size 10. I don't know, in America it's about 400.
But equally, our son is doing amazing things with his feet. He's incredible. The fact that he hasn't worn shoes, he knew better than us, of course, that, you know, he's now able to climb and use his feet like, my goodness me, it's incredible when you watch him with his feet. And you know, he's just taught us so much about being bare feet. And his feet are hardier than ours.
Yeah, stand on a thorn and he'll just go, oh dear, and he'll wait for you to kind of pull the thorn out, and then carry on.
So yeah, you know, forget the fact that you're grounding and you're, you know what you're getting from the earth, and how healthy it is actually for our bodies to have that connection with the earth. You know, it's just, we should all be more barefoot, so yeah, go barefoot.
You nailed it, baby. Anyway, this is beautiful weather, and I'm planning to be at the Speaker's Corner tomorrow, Sunday, the 31st of March. So Steve, hope to see you there. And well, anyone else who wants to come down and join me for a little chit chat. I am endeavoring to go for the love. You know, we're all in this together, and the system is well set against you. Because the thing is that when you're arguing people about their belief in their balls, they can't hear you. But when you talk about some of the other things, like the system it's rained against us, maybe they can hear you. And the thing is, actually, truthfully, I also feel like people in Speaker's Corner, who are a microcosm of the macro, are oftentimes so caught up in their own egoic division, cubic division, box of color or box of religion or box of this or box of that. And even the Christians in the flat earth community, they're oftentimes, I know this is a generalization, please don't get me wrong, I know there's plenty of those that are broad enough to go, look, we don't quite agree on the nature of that, but there's plenty that are like, I can't see what you're saying, and I'm not willing to kind of hear that the system could actually be completely and totally corrupted.
Just show them the stunning blossoms.
I've been asked to show you these stunning
the
blossoms because we are blessed or graced with this abundance, blossomy abundance. The trees are
on the opposite of the road.
Oh yeah.
And if we are truly one, then shit, how beautiful and abundant are we?
That's one of my gardens that I do some gardening for. Actually, I got to burn a massive heap of rubbish today. No, not today. Yesterday. Not rubbish, wood, and it was a pyromaniac's. Well, a holiday camp really. Anyway, see, it's quite bright outside, so it's a bit difficult for me to read what's on the screen. I have to be honest and see if that helps. Conspiracy search engine. Yes, that's another conversation. Ricardo, yeah, beautiful there. Yeah. Start an eco village, is it? Well,
Why don't you walk there, because then you'll be inside.
Cheers, Jason. I'm gonna say, oh, is that cool to be saying, man? No, I don't switch off, I'll probably lose my marbles. Oh, right, yeah. It's a good idea to switch off every now and again, I think, because
For sure.
I have exhausted myself for many thousands of hours on these matters, and you know, truthfully, you probably realize this, that there's very little that's more important than, you know, looking for the truth, or at least you know, it's looking for the truth, but also being the light and being the beacon that the Christ character is requiring of us, or suggesting of us, I should say. Recommending. Hiya. All right, mate. Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good, man. Don't know where I was going with that, but oh yeah, decompressing. No, because you know, it becomes like everything and everyone. You're challenging everything and everyone, and you're very much on your own for a lot of this. You know, there's not many people around you that can support you.
And you've also got there's a lot of amazing stuff out there. There's a lot of amazing amazing things
Yes, that's good
and
advice.
amazing experiences, and you know, amazing things that can I don't know how to put it, stimulate your senses, and you know, this is also supposed to be an experience that we get joy and bliss from. So it's about rebalancing and you know, and focusing on the things that are important.
Yeah, you have it. So we need to rebalance and refocus on the things that are important and make time for the beauty of this thing, because that's really what it's. We are meant to enjoy this, and it can be a form of hell when all you're doing is fighting with those around you and those in the community that you're meant to be reliant on, or meant to be realizing that, you know, this is one great game. We are these divine beings of light, this divine essence of the Most High Creator. You know all of this. We don't need the we don't need the we don't need really and we don't need the division. You see, I think I've said this recently. We can perhaps seek a way of respecting someone's religious or cultural belief. Cultural belief, I think, is even easier to see. You know, it's like, you know, cultural practice. Go ahead. You know, what can you say about that? Other than enjoy yourself and so on. However, should your cultural nuance or your religious preference come at the expense of of your brotherhood to every other man or woman who chooses a different or comes from a different? It's a hard and bitter pill to swallow, my friends. If you think about it, it's just like, so really it's a form of racism. You know, it's a form of segregatism or apartheid, separatism, because, you know, that's your first point of contact. Whereas your first point of contact, if it was human, we're human first. But the ego is trapped into that second layer stuff. First layer, all right, man. First layer, human. Second, look, you're holding on to that as your first point of, I think. I'm losing my connection. But guys, I'm grateful and honored that I'm able to talk to a few people. And as I said earlier, the other day I met some fantastic people recently who can see a lot of the same stuff that I can see. I like to say that my heart is open to all and all. But of course, it's much easier to resonate with people who kind of can see past the deepest of deceptions. Assuming that is that I can see that much. I don't know that I can, but whatever I can see, I vibrate better with people who are that open-minded, you know, who are not going to say, no, my first point of contact is my color, and my color is better than your color. My color has to be differentiated from your color, or I have to identify myself by that first, my skin tone. It's I think the ego has still much to learn, if that's the state. Same with the books, you know. My book is better than yours, and my religious symbology comes before my human symbology, my human connection to all. Yeah, and you know, as Andrea said, it's really about, I think maybe this is our journey, is to kind of take the ego and she said it much better than me, but something about letting the soul steer the wheel rather than the ego, something like that. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna do a longer thing tomorrow. I mean, I'm having to do a few hours in the park, eh? And I've got some battery pack, so I can stream for a couple of hours. And you know, hopefully inspire some others to join the fray, as it were. What's that, Richard? Yeah, compassion, empathy over ego. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think that means, you know, there is an element of letting stuff go, letting connections go, and so on. Taking that lonely, some ways a lonely walk, but we have to be I guess, a community for each other, or a band of friends for each other, or it's a weird thing, you know, because we know what we know. When you know what you know, like intellectually, you know a certain amount of stuff about, wow, you know, we are these divine beings. We are, you know, of this creation, and yet we struggle with each other. We struggle to be comfortable in each other's space. We struggle to embrace each other like the creator gods, or the creator beings, creator essence that we are. But I think we should be less fixated on, I suppose, on who gets it, how quickly they get it, whether or not they break away from their traditional thinking. I'm just putting it out as I think what we should be doing is breaking away from that kind of tradition over humanity thinking first. The tradition of science, the tradition of religion, the tradition of national identity, and we see it being stoked with the Brexit thing here at the moment. You know, people are very kind of patriotic about that, or wanting more kind of externalization of power rather than the internalization of power control. So maybe we need to fixate less on these things, continue to work on ourselves, be the light. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, because I'm all about getting out there and, what is it they say, evil triumphs when good men do nothing. I think we're all good men, but most of us, not the people I'm talking to, but most people are doing nothing. Guy's worried that I'm filming him. Anyway, this is the thing, is we're so paranoid. Everyone's like, oh my god, you know, what's he doing? And why is he filming? And who's he filming? And what's he going to do with it? And da da da. Anyway, enough grumpiness from me. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.